Hello, my beautiful people. Your 2023 tarot and astrology readings are up and out there for your purchasing pleasure. So they are the same price. I'm keeping the same price so that they are accessible for everybody. So you can get them for $4.99 a piece, which is like the price of a cup of coffee, basically, or a sandwich, or probably, I don't even think you can get either of those now. Well, thereabouts at this moment in time. So this year, I have included even more knowledge, even more wisdom for you to digest. So as part of those, you will get the numerology overview, the eclipse overview. That is a part that I'm not going to be putting out on any of my other platforms. And it's really important that you see that, because the way that the eclipse is full next year is there's some really juicy tidbits in there. On top of that, you will get the lunation section, which is all about your new moon, your full moon of the year of 2023, and the eclipses and how all of those are going to be impacting your sign. On top of that, you will get the 12-month breakdown, and this year, the 12-month tarot breakdown. And on top of that, this year, I've created a 19 plus, because they're about 19 pages or more, plus page document of astrological knowledge and wisdom, and how the biggest transits of the year are going to be hitting you in your sign. So I have literally, by the way, that's downloadable and printable, so you can have it as like a reference guide for the year ahead. I literally couldn't fit any more into these. We've also made the files smaller this year so that they're easier for you guys to download. I've tried to think of absolutely everything. So you can get one for $4.99. You can get your big three, your sun, moon, and ascendant, for $14.97. So you would select the two that you want, and then at the cart you add the third item so that you get your sun, moon, and rising. Or you can buy the bundle for $24.99, right? Look at that. And then you can download them and send them to all of your loved ones. With that said, I just want to say a massive thank you for allowing me to, from time to time sell you things. Obviously, this is my business. It is how I do my work. So thank you so much for listening. If you want to get those, you can do so on the link in the description box below. For those of you that do purchase and support my work, I thank you so deeply and humbly from my heart to yours. I really hope you have a wonderful 2023, and I really hope that you love them as much as I did creating them. Take care, and then let's get to your week ahead taroscope. Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael. Thank you so much for being here. This week, your key to the week is the High Priestess. Your intuition, your own innate psychic awareness and abilities are flourishing this week, and they are on point. Pay attention. Your ruler Mercury is direct at this point and actually will be out of shadow by the time we get to the end of this week. So this is a really potent energy, and obviously this means that you, unless you were born under a Mercury retrograde, in which case it's slightly different, but for most of you, and the rest of us included, you will definitely be thinking and feeling a lot clearer than you have in a while. Now, what also speaks to me on this is your intuition is going to be fire this week, all right? Pay attention to your hunches, your nudges, the things that come up, the things that really speak to you at that deep soul level, right? Whether it's a feeling or a thought or an impression that has something other about it, pay attention to it, because this week you are on point. You are totally in tune. Pay attention to your dreams as well. Whenever the High Priestess shows up, she's communicating with you, but she never does it in direct words, right? The High Priestess will never come to you and say, oh, by the way, tomorrow such and such is going to happen. It will be thoughts, impressions, it will be things that you see with a whisper up the back of your neck, or somebody that appears to you in a dream and gives you a really random roundabout message. That's how she works. It's how she communicates. Now, with that said, the High Priestess is also a card that speaks to hidden things revealed. So this could be a week where some kind of secret is revealed to you. It's likely to be a piece of knowledge that through the Mercury retrograde was concealed. Maybe you didn't see it, maybe you weren't fully aware of it, and now all of a sudden it comes to fruition, right? Like you see it in the plain cold light of day, and it's like, okay, now I know that. It's like not so much a piece to a puzzle, it's more a case of, maybe you were looking at something through a glass and it looks like one thing, and then you move the glass out of the way and it's like, oh, okay, that's what it says. So with that said, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So your actions and options this week is the 9 of Wands. So for a lot of you, this could be a week where you're having conversations about literally admitting to some kind of spiritual, not even a spiritual wound. It's like you're opening up a vulnerability that nobody knows about you. So you could be sharing a secret with a friend, a loved one, a partner. Is like something that you're divulging about yourself or your history or your past or whatever, and it's like this thing is really it's deep in you and you are sharing this. It's like you're making yourself vulnerable to say, look, this is something that people don't know about me, but actually this is a great week for you to do it, and it looks like you are. The thing with that 9 of Wands as an actions card as well, and I touch wood, I truly hope that you know this isn't the case. Please watch out for slips, trips and falls. They tend to show up with this card either here or in the money and materials sector, and because it's in your actions and options and you've got the High Priestess here, this is one of those weeks where, you know, when it's like, let's say you've got something that you've left by the stairs and you keep saying to yourself, yeah, I'm going to move that, and you never get around to it, right? And then you slip on it. This is that week. If you have those kinds of messages, or you know that thing that you left on the side, you should probably move it now. You don't do it, and one of the kids or the dog knocks it off the side, right? This is one of the, pay attention to those things this week, especially when it comes to anything like slips, trips and falls. All right. Now, that being said, when it comes to your communications and conversations, you've got the High Priest or the Hierophant, and you've got this right underneath the High Priestess. Now, she represents the internal wisdom and the inner spirit, and he represents the external wisdom and the external, like the rituals and the things that come as a result of that, right? So they are the esoteric and the exoteric. This week, when it comes to your communications, for a lot of you, it does look like you're interacting with big or large institutions. I am going to say, because you've got the High Priestess here as well, the chances are that you come up against a gatekeeper of some sort is absolutely possible. So let's say, you know, you are applying for a license. Let's say you are applying for a job. There's somebody that stands in your way, and it's likely that this person has been doing whatever this thing is for a long time. So it's kind of like they're on that power trip. Well, I decide who gets in and who doesn't. If you have to bypass somebody this week, I would just go straight over their heads. Like if you're dealing with somebody that is trying to do that gatekeeper thing, like just go above them. But the chances are you will find yourself interacting with a larger institution of some sort this week. Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, these two together, and you know, I hope the Emperor doesn't show up, but this could literally be a check-in or a correspondence of some sort, potentially from a hospital. So be mindful of that. What I will also say as well, for those of you that are, studying, this week, expect very little in the way of, it's like, you know, exam conditions. Nobody can let you know that you're doing well or that you're doing bad. They're just there to stand sentinel. You might have that feeling this week. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, honestly, if you have disputes and stuff to raise, now is not the right time. Between now and January the 12th, don't initiate any kind of dispute, tribunal, disciplinary action, a formal complaint, because anything that you're trying to win that could potentially be a battle of wills, and this is possible, right? If you initiate it now, Mars isn't retrograde yet, but it will be by the end of this month, which means it's already in shadow, it's already slowing down to go retrograde. If you initiate this during the retrograde, the chances are you're going to lose, all right? Or it'll backfire somehow. So this is not the right time. If you can wait until after January 12th, the energy is with you, all right? For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this might be a time where you are working on a deal behind the scenes, which, hey, listen, go for it, right? And with that 9 of Wands there, don't be afraid to get a little bit human with it, right? If you're planning on signing up to an agency or getting an agent or working with somebody big or something like that, don't be afraid to let them know, like, yeah, you know what, I had a really hard time getting to this point, but I'm so glad I'm sitting in front of you because I'm ready to do this. Like, don't be afraid to get into the grit with it, all right? Like, Gemini, you guys, it's not that you like things pretty and polished, because you're really not about that, but you do like a certain presence to be felt when you are present, right? And this week I kind of feel like it's not that that's going to clinch the deal for you. It's the grit, it's the honesty, it's the, yeah, you know what, actually I didn't know I was going to make it, but hey, look, here I am. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, again, this potentially, and if you are visiting a hospital this week, it's likely to be for a woman. Usually the high priestess is mother, grandmother, you know, like the matriarchs. For your love and relations, you have the Tower card. This, because you've got this high priestess here, I am a little worried about this, I'm not going to lie. And the reason being is because that is a secret of some sort that is revealed. And when it is revealed, you could be feeling a little bit kind of like, you know, like, oh, okay, this wasn't great. And the reason I say this, for those of you that are, because it's right underneath the Nine of Wands, and I almost feel like if it's you divulging a secret, it'll feel like a big weight has been lifted, but it'll need to settle. If it's that a secret is revealed to or about you, it could be a little bit uncomfortable. And it always is, right? If there's something that we don't personally tell people because we don't want people to know, and then we suddenly hear that somebody has said that about us, it can be quite like, oh, even if it's not necessarily anything, you know, taboo or whatever, it's just, it feels like a violation. You've got this here with the Hierophant card. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, I'm sorry to say, but there is some challenge in the relationship this week, and it looks like it could get a little bit terse, specifically for those of you that are married, because the Hierophant is a card of marriage. So, you know, just something to be mindful of. Navigate this week with some of that mental agility that you have, right? When it comes to those of you that are single, this is not a week for love. All right. Quite frankly, I think some of the events of this week will probably have you saying, yeah, you know what, I'm not interested in settling down just yet, but you will be. When it comes to your money and materials, I mean, your finances are great. All right, straight up, I'm just going to tell you, your business ideas, your monetary ventures are all going really well. There is potentially here as well a deal or some kind of offering that is not common knowledge. So your boss comes to you and says, look, we've got some overtime coming up. Are you interested in it? This might be another reason to hold your tongue on whatever's going on with work. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, something that you are working on behind the scenes that you're working really hard on has all chances of success, which is great, but the money is definitely increasing through lucky breaks and opportunities that are being forged behind closed doors. When it comes to when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your head and your face. So look after that aspect of you this week. And when it comes to your home and environment, honestly, home could be really busy this week, right? It could just be more of a base of operations than an actual home. You know, you might kind of feel like, okay, I probably need to tidy this place up now, and especially if you've got stuff sat around in really awkward places. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.